But what couples forget is to start with holding and being held. Because when we do that, we generate oxytocin. And the oxytocin is kind of like the antidote to all the cortisol we're pumping out constantly with the kids and the school and the stress and the job and the politics and the, all this crazy stuff. We need to be held and to hold. Sex is an equation. It is two things. Good sex is, half of it is safety and security. I trust this person. They're not going to give me STIs. They're going to be fun. I like them. They smell good. They taste good. They're going to be good to have sex with. But if you just have that, boring. It's like that's the death knell for your sex life, is when it's just safe. Boring. Sounds so boring. So variety, novelty, erotic adventures, erotic play dates, learning new things together. When you have this seat, this foundation of trust and safety and good communication, I can say anything I want to you and you're going to love me and you're going to appreciate that I'm telling you what I need all the time. When you have that, and then you add all the novelty. Ooh, did you hear about that heated sex toy, or that one that blows up in your vagina, inflates? What's that like? Or, oh, let's find your P-spot, or let's try this penis ring, or whatever it might be. Once you start doing those things, then not only that, but you have something to look forward to. So remember when I was talking about being held and holding and how women need to get out of their head and they need to slow down?
Yeah.
If a lot of guys say to me, what's the number one sex technique I need to know? And I'm like, okay, well, there's a lot of them, but the number one sex technique you need to know is slow down, turn around and come back and get us, because you're ready to go and we're not, because your erection happens in a minute or two. You can usually get a hard on because this spongy tissue in your penis has these 3 straight chutes and the blood runs right in there. You see the boob and you get an erection, boom. But not a female body. A female body has the same amount of erectile tissue as is inside your penis, only, and I'm doing a little demo here if you're listening to us, I'm stretching this erectile tissue from the penis into this little teardrop shape. The vagina is in here, and the urethral canal, which is what's called the G-spot, but it's not a spot, it's a long tube. So here is the vagina. It is wrapped in the same amount of erectile tissue that's in your penis. But it's in these little arms, little legs, little shaft, little sponge. And so it takes about 20 minutes for her to achieve her clitoral erection.
So we'll start with her first then.
Right. So yoni massages are fantastic because you're going to get that blood flowing into her vulva so that all this tissue gets nice and plump, so she gets an erection. Because how does sex feel if you're flaccid?
Not great.
It feels great when you're erect. And that's because it has more surface area that sends more signals to your biggest sex organ, your
brain.
Your brain. And so when women are rushed for sex, which has been almost all the time, because everything you see in the movies, what is it? What's a typical movie scene? We get together, we kiss, you rip off my shirt, my bra is still on, you haven't even touched my boobs, which are one of the 3, not you, you're perfect, but he hasn't even touched her boobs, and he's ripped her pants off and he's plunged inside her. She's not ready. She doesn't have a lady boner. She's not ready to go. That tissue needs to be filled up with blood so that it feels as good to her, so it sends the signals to her brain. So all those women who are like, I'm just the kind of woman who can't have an orgasm from intercourse. I'm like, girl, yeah, you can. You can basically have orgasms the entire time you're having intercourse if you get enough pleasuring before you're penetrated. And then there are techniques to use. So for female ejaculation, which all women can do, there are very specific techniques that work, and it's not what you see on porn. And then there's expanded orgasm techniques as well. And an expanded orgasm, or like a quantum gasm, is this. So, and then there are tools of desire. So there's 3 different types of orgasm. I'll finish that sentence. So there's locations to touch, techniques to use, and tools or objects of desire. Because who's to say that that crop that spanks your bottom isn't an object of desire to give you orgasms? It is too. But the quantum gasm, so a regular orgasm is, okay, it's very similar to what men think about an orgasm being. Like, and this is like the 1960s, Masters and Johnson style, almost 80 years ago. We have moved on from this style of orgasm. This is just one kind. But it's the and you have the orgasm. That's a one and done. And often women who say, and a lot of men complain about this to me, after she has an orgasm, she doesn't want me to touch her. It's over. She's done. And I'm like, you're driving her too hard. You haven't given her enough engorgement. If you go slower, she'll be able to have multiple orgasms because you haven't driven her nervous system so hard to get the first one done. So slow down, lighter touch, more engorgement, more foreplay, make out, play with her boobs, stroke her body, tell her she's beautiful, all of these things. And then she can move into multiple orgasms. She can do that, right? But then there's extended orgasms. So this is where she starts being able to sit in sensation. And this is back to sex as a mindfulness practice. Now she's right there. She's in the orgasm. And now she's like, That's a sound. That's a crowd pleaser.
Yeah, I recognize that.
Right? That's an extended orgasm. Now she's taken that moment of time and she's stretched it out like taffy, right? So now she's in the orgasm, right? So she's starting to ride a big wave. But then there's an expanded orgasm, and that's the king, the queen of orgasms. And that is, now I'm a big wave rider. You're towing me out. You're stroking me. You're pleasuring me. It's feeling good. You get me up in that wave, and I'm riding that wave. And I just ride and ride and ride and ride that wave, and you tow me back out. And a big set just came in, and now you tow me into a bigger wave. It's more intense. It lasts even longer. And I am just coming and coming and coming, and you just keep delivering. And you're delivering it to me with the lightest of touch, because now I'm so good at orgasming that all you barely have to do is stroke a little finger on all that delicious, plump, juicy tissue that's now sending massive amounts of signals to my brain. And I am coming for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Now I'm going to come with you until I can't anymore. Let's see how long we can go. And you start having orgasms that keep getting bigger and better until you're just tired. You need to stop. You have to get some water. You need to recover.